Hello everybody, Local Lego Man here, and welcome back to yet another Lego review, specifically a brand new early 2023 Lego Marvel review. Now what are we reviewing? Well, I was able, and lucky enough, to get my hands on a full box of the brand new Marvel Studios CMF second series, series 2. I don't know the exact name of these, but I was able to get a full box of them, and obviously, as you can see, they're all in boxes now. I shouldn't have done that, that just made a mess. But yeah, I was really happy to get these early since this is one of the CMF series that I've been looking forward to for quite a while, so without further ado, let's just check them out. Now this CMF series is pretty kick butt, so let's just get right into it, starting off with Goliath, and Goliath is pretty cool, coming with an Ant-Man micro figure as an accessory, and overall this figure is super detailed with not only some spectacular side, arm, and leg printing, but also this very detailed helmet which works to convey the character, at least from what we've seen of the character, quite well. And I should also mention that when removing the helmet, Goliath has face printing with a happy expression and an angry expression, and the hairpiece is also included with the figure. Next up, we have Echo, and Echo's figure comes with this little throwing thingy, and this is one of the most detailed Lego figures that I've seen in quite a while, with side arm and side leg printing, but also printing on this brand new prosthetic leg piece, which is very detailed. And I also have to mention that the hairpiece as well, which is brand new, also has printing on it. And although we don't really know what Echo's costume is going to look like in the show, if it's anything like this figure, I'd say that we're in for a definite treat. And I should also mention that Echo does also come with an angry expression as well. After that, we have Mr. Knight, and Mr. Knight comes with both of his batons as an accessory, as well as his fish tank, which is a super detailed print on this translucent brick, which I just think is awesome. And I have to say that this figure has to be one of my favorites within the series, since the detailing with the light and the dark gray printing, alongside just all the amazing graphic design work on the actual suit in general, just looks amazing. And although it's not as complicated as some of the other figures within this series, I still think that this is quite the standout figure within the set as a whole. Next up, we have Agatha Harkness, and Agatha not only comes with these two purple Power Blast accessories, but also a version of the Darkhold with printing on the cover and the inside page showing the Scarlet Witch, which is a super cool and extra detailed accessory, which will go along with the Sanctum Sanctorum, any of the sets with Wanda in it. It's just a really good universal item to finally have. And other than the accessories, the figure is phenomenal. I love the coloring with the dark blues and purples, and I have to say that the face expression with the wink is amazing, and even the alternate expression where she's just smiling looks perfectly evil. And I also don't know if it's just me, since I haven't gotten my hands on a lot of these new dress-like leg pieces, but there's not only printing on the back torso, but also the back of the dress, which I think is super cool. After that, we have one of my most anticipated figures of this CMF series, that being Beast. And Beast comes with an X-Men mug and his microscope, and this figure is just phenomenal. I love the brand new hairpiece, which is surprisingly dual molded, and even though Beast doesn't have side arm or leg printing, I think the figure is, put simply, perfect, and it does an amazing job at conveying Beast's design. And I also love that we have his nerdy expression with the glasses, which looks awesome. Next up, we have Werewolf by Night, and he comes with the Bloodstone as an accessory, which is this really detailed print on this flat stud. And overall, I think that this figure is pretty good, but it's probably my second least favorite of the series, and there's only two reasons for that. Now, even though the printing is really good, I think that the figure would have looked 1,000 times better if it had been in black and white. And the other thing is just that the hair mold looks kind of funky, since it's really big and it makes the figure's face look more of an oval shape, which just looks bizarre. But other than that, I do think this is still a pretty good figure, and I also love the alternate expression, which shows his angry expression. After that, we have Wolverine, and Wolverine obviously comes with his iconic adamantium claws as an accessory, but he also comes with a ripped off Sentinel head, which is super cool. And I was really looking forward to this figure, since I've never actually owned a Wolverine Lego figure before, even though we've gotten quite a few of them, and I'm happy that this is the first one that I'm getting, since it is so detailed with the sidearm and leg printing, which perfectly conveys the suit design in X-Men 97. And I should also mention that Wolverine also comes with a hairpiece, and his second expression is him just looking kind of grumpy, which just honestly makes this figure the penultimate Lego Wolverine. Next up, we have She-Hulk, and She-Hulk comes with this printed tile, which is a phone showing her calling Wong, and she also has a file on Emil Blonsky, which is pretty cool, and it honestly makes me hope that we'll eventually get an Abomination Big Fig. But taking a look at the figure, and I have to say that this is a standout one within this series. I think the sidearm and the leg printing, especially with the coloring of the character, looks really good, and I also really enjoy her alternate expression where she is very happy, although I do wish we could have gotten an angry expression, since, especially if you've seen the show, that angry expression would have really been in character for this figure. After that, we have Storm, and Storm comes with both of these electric pieces, which are used quite a lot for Emperor Palpatine in this yellow coloring, which is perfect. And I have to say that I am so happy that we're finally getting this costume for Storm in LEGO form, since it's personally my favorite version of Storm's costume. Obviously, we see it in the X-Men animated TV show, and everything from the amazing brand new Mohawk hairpiece down to the awesome cape piece, which connects at the hands, just looks perfect. And I'm really happy that we're getting more X-Men figures, especially since there's obviously the big rumor of the X-Men mansion next year. So I hope that this continues with LEGO, since X-Men is one of my favorite superhero teams, and it's really great to get more of the X-Men in LEGO figure form. Next up, we have Hawkeye, and Hawkeye comes with this brand new bow and arrow mold, as well as this little baby owl, which is a weird accessory since the baby owl only showed up in one scene, but I do get why they probably put this in here, which is honestly probably for Harry Potter sets, but it's still a cool addition nonetheless. And this figure is awesome, since Hawkeye ended up being one of my favorite Disney Plus shows based on one of my favorite comic runs for the character, and I have to say that they nailed the costume design on this figure perfectly. And although the face print doesn't exactly look like Jeremy Renner, it is still a better attempt than we have gotten in quite a while, especially thanks to this brand new hair mold, which was initially introduced in LEGO Friends. And I do also know that some people were complaining about the lack of leg printing on this character, but if you do look at the costume, it's pretty much just black pants, so it's honestly not that big of a deal. And I will also say that I'm a big fan of the alternate expression where he has this grin. After that, we have Moon Knight, and this is most definitely my favorite figure from this series, coming with one of his moon boomerang weapon type thingies, as well as the scarab, and the printing for this figure is just phenomenal. And it really makes me thankful that, opposed to the last series where they mainly based everything off of the concept art for the shows, this series of mystery character packs came out after the shows had been out for a bit, so the figures were that much more show accurate, since Moon Knight's figure, whether it be the printing on the dual molded legs, to the side arm printing, to even the amazing printing on the front and back of the torso, this figure is just honestly one of the best ones within the series. And I also love the brand new head / cowl piece for Moon Knight, which looks really cool. And my favorite extra detail with this figure is the alternate expression for Moon Knight, where it's actually Mark Spector's face with the white eyes. And I did put a hairpiece on him, although it's not included with this figure, but I did just want to show you guys how good the face print looks. And last but most certainly not least, we have Kate Bishop, also known as Hawkeye. And Kate Bishop comes with that brand new bow and arrow mold in brown, as well as this Hit the Spot pizza box and Lucky the Pizza Dog, which was a super cool inclusion that I most certainly was not expecting. And this figure is great. I love the leg printing with this character, and I actually really like what they did as opposed to other characters, where the character has the different special arrowheads printed on the side leg piece, which is a super cool detail and reference to the show. And I also think that they were able to capture the character's likeness, especially in the face, quite well. And speaking of the face prints, the alternate expression shows Kate Bishop smiling, and that's pretty much it. So if I had to rate this CMF as a whole, what would I rate it? I would definitely rate this series a 5 out of 5. I think that the character selection is pretty good, even though there are a few weird exclusions, like for some reason Echo being represented, even though the show isn't probably going to come out for another year or two, but shows like Miss Marvel, which have already been out for a year, weren't represented in this one, which is just a little bit strange. But other than that, and like the minor nitpick of them being in boxes, which who really cares, that's the new normal, I thought that this series was pretty cool. So yeah, I really hope you all enjoyed this early LEGO Marvel review, and make sure to subscribe since I have a lot more LEGO content on the way. Bye!